Hello and welcome to another video and podcast from Fantasy Football Scout. My name is Joe and today I'll be revealing my team for Gameweek 12 if I was wildcarding. I'm not, I've used it already, so hard luck me. But many others haven't and may be tempted to do so given the changing fortunes of a number of teams. Big fixture swing. Just before we go on, do press that like button, helps us out. Leave us a 5-star review if you're listening to the podcast version. Do remember to subscribe as well. Keep up to date with all our latest videos and podcasts wherever you receive them. Okay, so last time I did a wildcard video, I talked about the Fab Four of Haaland, Palmer, Saka, Salah, and how we can't realistically have them all. I have seen some teams with them all. I personally, I don't like that. Bit of a shambles, really. You can have 2 or 3, though, definitely. And that's very, very, very doable and have quite a solid rest of the team. So I concluded at that time that Haaland wasn't needed. It's something I did in my own team. I went for Salah instead, and I've gone up the rankings as a result. Got a little red arrow this week, but on the whole, I'm moving in the right direction. Hopefully it doesn't. Big variance this season, so hopefully that doesn't change. So what I'll do here, I'll look at the captaincy matrix to see which heavy hitters are needed. Then I'll look at the fixtures, then the team itself for Game Week 12 and how it fares right up to Game Week 16 if I didn't make any transfers. I didn't really want to plan any transfers for this because I want to better meet, if there's changing fortunes of teams, changing form or injuries, that type of thing, suspensions. Also build up some transfers, hopefully, and you can adapt to any sort of future fixture swings then. So that's the aim. So let's have a look at the captaincy matrix quickly. Heavy hitter wise, this says to me Salah and Palmer are a must. Haaland, okay. I'd say he's okay. He's a very good striker, but in terms of which premium players you're going to get in your team, Salah and Palmer are the must. So Game Week 12, Salah away to Southampton, fantastic. Saka's a good option at home to Nottingham Forest. Okay, not as good as Salah, I don't think. Haaland at home to Tottenham, another strong option as well. Tottenham cannot keep clean sheet at the moment. Palmer away to Leicester, strong fixtures. This is going to be a swingy game week. Some are going to do well, some aren't. Game week 13, Man City and Liverpool play each other. So Salah and Haaland, I think, are marginally off the menu. Salah could be okay, though. Palmer against Aston Villa. I quite like that one. Brian Mbomo could be a good, strong option. Leicester, Saka taking on West Ham. Let's see if the manager's in place then. This could be, Saka could end the West Ham manager's career there. Palmer, game week 14, away to Southampton, like that a lot. Haaland, home to Nottingham Forest. I actually prefer Palmer's fixture a lot there. Salah, so see the trend, Salah, Palmer. Salah away to Everton, like that a lot. Haaland away to Crystal Palace. Okay, it's okay, but I could take that on, I think. Palmer at home to Brentford, brilliant. Brentford cannot, as a long-term Flecken owner, I can attest that Brentford do not keep clean sheets. Salah's at home to Fulham. That's quite good. I mean, Fulham are good, but Salah at home, is a very reliable captaincy. Manchester United are the opponents of Haaland. Haaland obviously has family history as a Leeds family. To take on Manchester United, so he likes that one. Okay, let's have a look at those fixtures in detail. Okay, this shows that Ipswich, Wolves, Brighton, Aston Villa, Arsenal, Bournemouth, Chelsea, and to a lesser extent Brentford and Newcastle have strong fixtures. Southampton, Fulham, Nottingham Forest, Manchester United, Everton, and not so strong. Tottenham are a bit mixed, but they've got some good fixtures there. They've got Fulham at home, game week 13 could be okay. But, Fulham are in better form at the moment. Southampton away, game week 16. But they're not necessary, I don't think. Man City as well. They've got Tottenham and Liverpool, which is okay. Nottingham Forest at home, it's okay as well. And Crystal Palace away. Manchester United at home. It's not great fixtures, really, in comparison to, say, Chelsea. They've got Leicester, Aston Villa, Southampton, Tottenham and Brentford. I mean, that's a really strong run for Palmer, if you want to captain him then. Looking at Newcastle, Isak is in good form, actually. I don't want to lock myself out of Isak, so if you're wildcarding and you don't have him, find an Isak route. So if you've got, say, you want Solanke or something, but I would go for that sort of higher price, mid-priced forwards, so you can easily move to someone like Isak and indeed Ollie Watkins if his FPL form improves. I like those fixtures. So as ever with all of my wildcards, I have the proviso pre-mortem him, as Simon March has called it in one of his articles at Fantasy Football Scout, where I expect I'm wrong. How can I move away? How can I run away from that awful decision? So that's what I'm always thinking. So I want flexibility. I'm looking at the players I don't have, and how can I get to them? That's I think that's the way I look at it. So I don't have Haaland. I'm not going to have Haaland in this team. So it's a bit of a spoiler for the team I'm going to show in a sec. But I certainly don't rule him out. So in order to get him, I'm going to need to move Salah and another player, another forward, to Haaland and a cheaper midfielder. So I need that flexibility to be able to do that. I'm just sort of reversing back that move I've already done, which I in my own team I had Salah and Kuna in for Semenyo and Haaland, for example. So you can easily move that one back. Semenyo's got good fixtures: Bournemouth, got Brighton, and Wolves, Tottenham, Ipswich, and West Ham. Okay, let's have a look at this wildcard team then. Okay, so I have used the app at Fantasy Football Scout. It's linked in with FPL Plan, so you can get the team going and you can then see how it's going to fare in the next few game weeks as well. So that's exactly what I've done. Game week 12, so I've taken 7 transfers here. So this is 7 away from my team, which is annoying. So I love doing these videos. It's always good to give guidance and advice and things, but I hate them as well because I realise my team is far from this. I mean, I've got half this team. I'd love to have the other half. Anyway, so if you're wildcarding now, lucky you. So this has got 1.3 in the bank. I'm sort of around 102.7 million, something like that. I've seen a lot of teams 103, that kind of thing. So I think anyone should be able to afford this really. It's 1.3 in the bank. So it's very affordable there. I've got a mixture. I've hopefully gone for flexibility. I've got a mixture of premiums in. I've got a mixture of cheap players in that I think are good, that have got quite strong fixtures and can rotate to some extent, but I haven't really gone for rotation too much here. So I've gone for Verbruggen in goal. I think Brighton will keep some clean sheets over this run, and I think their run continues as well. I mean, they've got Bournemouth away, Southampton at home, Fulham away, Leicester away, Crystal Palace at home. These are really strong fixtures. I like Verbruggen, so I've gone for Verbruggen, and Fabianski is his backup. Fabianski is actually being preferred to Areola at the moment. He may or may not be injured. The manager may change. Fabianski may be out of the squad, so he's not totally reliable, but at the moment he's playing. I'm happy to rely on Verbruggen as well. You could go up to Raya, but I don't like Raya and Gabriel. I don't like to rely on the Arsenal defence too much. Could be good a bit later in the season, but at the moment, I think I can save a bit of money. So I've got Verbruggen there. I'm playing a 3-5-2 in Game Week 12. I'll come to that in a sec. But across my midfield, I've got Saka, Palmer, Salah. Right, that's it. That's the basics of my team. These are the heavy hitters I want. They were the first names in. Brian Mbomo, already in my team. He's staying in there. I can't see any reason for it to dip. So he's got Everton and Leicester. Yeah, he's got Aston Villa. Yeah, he's got Newcastle. Yeah, he's got Chelsea. But he can score in any game. And, when there's good fixtures, he's usually on the score sheet somewhere or involved in goals as well. This is good, but I don't like, because of the Brentford fixtures, I don't like doubling up too much. And, he's so well owned as well. Loads of reasons to keep him. So I've got Saka, Palmer, Salah, Brian Mbomo, Rodgers. This was the easiest thing. Rodgers, I think, is a fantastic value still. Still a great player. 5.1. He's got home to Crystal Palace this week. And you can rotate him in and out. He's a great first sub. Really reliable pick. And for these strong fixtures like this, particularly at home, I'm very happy to play him. I've gone for Isak up front. Newcastle strong run. He's in good form. Also, you can move him to an Ollie Watkins. You can use that funds to move down as well. You can get to Haaland from Isak as well by moving. You don't have to move Salah down. So say Saka gets injured, you can move him down. No, I don't think you can do that with Saka, but you might be able to do it with Palmer, and if you've got a bit more in the bank as well. But definitely Salah and Isak can be moved to Haaland and a pretty good midfielder. I've got Cunha. I've got him in my team a couple of weeks ago. He's fantastic. He's Wolves are second. They got Fulham second in the season ticker. They got Fulham away, then Bournemouth, Everton, West Ham, and Ipswich. It's a great run. It's a really strong run that continues up to about Boxing Day, I think. He has done nothing to warrant being removed from my own team. So I think you should just go for him. My other forward is actually on the bench this week, and it's tough. This is what should happen when you wildcard. You've got a tough bench decision. If you wildcard and you think, oh, well, that's easy, I'll just put that rubbish player on the bench. You don't want the rubbish player. You want really good players, because you want to sort of set yourself up. So João Pedro's there. I think Bournemouth away is actually quite tricky for Brighton, but I definitely want him in place for game week 13 for Southampton at home, and then he's got that run of Fulham, Leicester and Crystal Palace as well. I like Pedro there. Arguably you could play Pedro instead of Rodgers, for example. Rodgers at home to Crystal Palace. I like that fixture though. Fabianski, as I've already mentioned there. I've got Aït-Nouri as well. He's away to Fulham. Fulham in strong form, but I like Aït-Nouri at 4.7. He looks very attacking. And Greaves is injured at the moment. He was already in my team. He's 4.0. I still think he's probably one of the best of the 4.0s. There's the off chance of a clean sheet. There's an off chance of a rare attacking a turn when he's back as well, but he should be sort of nailed on to play. You're not really going to go down to your third on your bench probably until you get to sort of Christmas. But you can definitely go. You've definitely. Another reason João Pedro is here as well. Pretty much every game after the international break, I go onto my bench, whether I like it or not. I'm going to have to play a bench player. So you see Saka, Palmer, and Bomo are already flagged, but I want them, and I don't think any of their injuries will be serious. Then probably those flags will go. But say one of them doesn't. Say Saka doesn't make it, or Brian Mboma doesn't make it. Well, I've got João Pedro there, and that's the beauty of wildcarding. It's got an expected points rating of 60. That's strong. Basically, anything above sort of 55 is really strong, because you usually get a bit more. And it's got a 97% rating. This is good, so I'm happy with that. Let's see how this fares in Game Week 13. So in Game Week 13, no changes. A lot of players. So you've got Liverpool. Sorry, just moving to Game Week 12 again. Sorry, I was remiss of me. I was so excited about my midfield. I didn't go talk about my defence as well in detail. So apologies for that, especially if you're listening on the podcast version. So I've got Lewis Hall, a brilliant value, 4.4 now. He's at home to West Ham in Game Week 12. Gabriel, in my team, I still think he's the best of the Arsenal defence, especially with attacking threat there. And Konate I've got in, so I've got no Alexander-Arnold. I think at 5.3, Konate is a very strong option there. And Liverpool are quite reliable for clean sheets, even though they've got some tough fixtures going. So sorry about that for those listening on the podcast version going, what the hell was in his defence? Well, that's my defence there. So let's have a look in Game Week 13. How it fares. Verbruggen in goal, a home Southampton, fantastic. Lewis Hall, he stays there. He's away to Crystal Palace. Gabriel away to West Ham. Aït-Nouri's back in. He's off the bench. Konate is dipped down. He is at home to Man City, so I'm not sure they're going to keep a clean sheet. Aït-Nouri at home to Bournemouth. Thank you very much. Very nice. Saka's away to West Ham. He's captainable. Palmer at home to Aston Villa. Very captainable. And currently my captain here. Brian Mboma home to Leicester. I mean, mentioned about this on the captaincy matrix, so I've got lots of strong captaincy options there. And Salah at home to Manchester City. I actually like that. I think he's going to score. Isak away to Crystal Palace. Cunha at home to Bournemouth. And João Pedro's back in the sides at home to Southampton. Rodgers relegated back to the bench. Konate, I mentioned there, and Greaves is there, propping up the bench. So let's have a look in game week 14. Okay, I can move my bench around a bit more. So I've got Verbruggen still there away to Fulham, could be a clean sheet. Konate's back in the side away to Newcastle. I'm not overly happy with that. I could play Greaves actually at home to Crystal Palace for a clean sheet, a cheeky clean sheet there. So there is that option. Gabriel at home to Manchester United, I'm happy with that. Aït-Nouri away to Everton, happy with that. So across my midfield, I've gone back to a 3-5-2 here. Saka, but arguably, so you might look at this and go, oh, why has he got João Pedro on the bench? But let's have a look. Arguably, you've got choice basically. So I've got Saka home to Manchester United, Palmer away to Southampton, fantastic. Brian Mboma away to Aston Villa, Mo Salah away to Newcastle, very strong, I think. I think Newcastle can concede. Rodgers at home to Brentford. I've got to play Rodgers at home to Brentford. Brentford always concede. Isak's at home to Liverpool. I like that. I like that. That's still. I think he'll score, but arguably you could swap him from João Pedro. I don't like benching Isak though. And Cunha away to Everton. That's fine. So on my bench I've got João Pedro. Arguably you could be, do leave comments below, but arguably game week 14, João Pedro can come in for Isak. Lewis Hall, he's at home to Liverpool, so he's on the bench. Fabianski as well. So let's move on to game week 15. Just two more of these to go. Game week 15. So this is no changes, by the way. So I did make this in game week 12, up to game week 15, and there's no planned changes really. Arguably, you could change some of these players, obviously. But I mean, I actually quite like them because I want them, in future game weeks and that type of thing. So for Bruggen at goal, he's away to Leicester, great stuff. Konate, he's back in the side, he's away to Everton, clean sheet potential. Gabriel, he's just staying away to Fulham. Nori's still there, away to West Ham. I've got Saka away to Fulham, Palmer away to Tottenham, very strong for captaincy, I think. Brian Mbomo at home to Newcastle, that could be strong for captaincy. Mo Salah, my captain, away to Everton. Rodgers at home to Southampton. You've got to play Rodgers there, I think. Cunha away to West Ham, very strong. Isak away to Brentford, and João Pedro away to Leicester. So it's a real bench decisions here. Arguably, João Pedro should be playing all of these games, but who do you bench him for? So have I made the wildcard too good? Well, there's going to be injuries. There's going to be suspensions. João Pedro is not going to stay on the bench for these ones. Arguably, you could swap João Pedro. I mean, he's marked down very lowly for expected points, but I think that's because he's just come back from injury. But João Pedro, arguably, if you want to play him away to Leicester, you could swap him for perhaps... I don't know, they're all so good, aren't they? Cunha, perhaps, away to West Ham. I mean, they're all good fixtures, though. Lewis Hall, away to Brentford. And I've got Greaves at home to Bournemouth on the bench. Fabianski at home to Wolves. I could play... I could bench boost this. If you wanted to bench boost in a single game week, I like this as a bench boost. But, relying on clean sheets is tough. Okay, let's have a look at game week 16. Same wildcard team. I haven't made any changes, so I'm just moving them all around. Substitutes and stuff. For Bruggen, still good fixtures. Crystal Palace at home could be strong there. Konate home to Fulham. Yep, happy with that. Gabriel at home to Everton. I mean, there's a lot of green on here, green being good. And a lot of home fixtures. Nori at home to Ipswich. Absolutely fantastic. So I've got a 3-4-3 here. I've actually benched Brian Mbomo, but I don't like doing that. But this one, in terms of the first sub and the bench dilemmas each week, I'm giving myself that. But I think that is a good thing. I mean, I don't mind getting bench points. At least you've got that player in your team. And as I've seen with all of these, as the weeks have gone on, bench Rodgers one week, play him the next week. Arguably, I would play Brian Mbomo ahead of Rodgers here. So I just put him in because he's got a good fixture, but he's away to Nottingham Forest. So Saka at home to Everton, Palmer, my captain, at home to Brentford, Salah at home to Fulham. He's a strong captain. One of those two will be captained. Rodgers is in the team, but arguably Brian Mbomo away to Chelsea could supplant him there. Isak at home to Leicester. Well, he's captainable in that one. Cunha at home to Ipswich. He's captainable. João Pedro at home to Crystal Palace. Oh, he's captainable. And I'm a Brighton fan there. So I've got Brian Mbomo away to Chelsea. Lewis Hall at home to Leicester. And Greaves away to Wolves. And Fabianski away to Bournemouth there. So there's choices to be made. This was, for me, in constructing this wild card, I've done about 4 of these so far. I tend to do them over the international break. And this was one of the easiest ones to do. The midfield just picked itself to me. I did want Isak for that flexibility there. I haven't got Haaland in any of these. I think any week I'd particularly want Haaland is at home to Manchester United, but you can see I've already got Palmer's got a good fixture, Saka's got a good fixture, Salah's got a good fixture, Isak's got a good fixture, Cunha's got a good fixture, Pedro. They've all got strong fixtures, and without Haaland, you can more than afford this team. So I hope that's been a use to you. I always find these very interesting. As I said, I both love doing these videos for you, but I also hate them because it reveals how terrible my own team is and how I wish I had a wildcard every week. If you're wildcarding this week, good luck. If you're not wildcarding and you're just making transfers like me, well, good luck. Good luck to ourselves there as well. So thanks a lot for your time. Good luck with the game week. Good luck with the rest of the season. Cheers. Bye now.